if we had a nickel for every time he said it, we would at least have a couple of nickels. Welcome to the show. Thanks very much for joining us, ladies and germs. Speaking of D, let me mute myself and give it to him to do that magic thing he does. Go for it, D.
What's going on, everybody? This show is for educational and entertainment purposes only. You have to be 21 and over to be here. If not, you have to get the heck out. That means you. Back to you, Fumi.
That's indeed it. Thank you, D, very much for the very professional way that we do everything here. Thanks very much for joining us, folks. So far, no one in the chat. It's been a slow day so far, I guess. So anyway, welcome, folks, when you do join us. Switch to live chat when you do join the chat. Am I in the wrong chat? Am I logged in the wrong thing? I don't think so. Well, I guess I'll freaking post the link. I'll be first in the chat for a change. Where's the freaking... There it is.
Winning.
Wouldn't it be funny if I was first? Oh, no, Dave is first. It's disappointed. Cheers, Dave. I'm like, damn it, I was gonna be first in my own chat. Anyway, cheers, Dave. Good to see you again. For some reason, I can't pin my own comment. I don't know. I guess it went away yesterday too. So I guess I'll wait until I'm able to do that. No, seriously, I'm not able to. I'm able to mouse over the other ones, but I'm not able to do a goddamn thing with mine. All right, well, until I can pin the link, ladies and germs, please just hit the link and come join us. Bonjour, Christophe. Bonsoir, actually, in better terms. Good day, but kilowatt. It's daytime for him. He's got the green button. He's saying, press the green button. Wouldn't it be funny if you press the green button and like joints fell from the sky, kind of like in the airplane where like masks fall from the sky? And then you'd say like, gotta smoke yours first before you give one to the other one because that's how it is for safety. Yeah, I like that. I like that. That's the procedure for safety meeting. You gotta smoke the joint first and then pass. Preferably in my case, I prefer to pass a whole joint to someone else so they can have their own joint. So I can have my own joint. But if you're a passer, smoke your kitchen puff, then pass it. I like that. Just like an airplane. It never really occurred to us to do like airline safety meetings because the FAA would be very much against that, but at least we can joke about it. Go for it, D. Hi there, everybody. There's a bird's nest behind me, and that bird is telling you that, first of all, before anything else in the show is for adults only, 21 and over. Wherever you are, if the rules are a little bit different, if you have to be 23 or 24 or something else, please follow your local rules. Where I am, it's 21 and over to be an adult, so please do follow those rules. The show is not for children, it is for adults only. Please also remember that the show is completely and totally drug-free. We do not actually purvey any kind of drugs of any kind. You cannot get drugs from the show of any kind. You cannot buy them, you cannot borrow them, you cannot steal them, you cannot get them bequeathed to you, you cannot get drugs from this show. So please do not bother reporting this show for purveying drugs or anything else. You cannot in any way get drugs from the show. There's no secret menu, there's no super secret menu, there's no other way to get any kind of illegal product from my show. Also, please remember, we're doing this a little bit impromptu, so please bear with us, ladies and gentlemen, for the bird squawks and everything else. Extremely dangerous challenges are not shown on the show. Challenges that pose an imminent risk of physical injury are never shown. Dangers of threatening pranks are also never shown on the show. Pranks that lead victims to fear imminent, serious physical danger or that create serious emotional distress in minors. Instructions to kill or harm are never shown on the show. Showing viewers how to perform activities meant to kill or maim others. For example, giving instructions to build a bomb meant to injure or kill others. Hard drug use or its creation is never shown on the show. Content that depicts abuse of or giving instructions on how to create hard drugs such as cocaine or opioids. Hard drugs are defined as drugs that can mostly lead to physical addiction. I had the proviso that sometimes you'll hear people on the show interact or have tell stories about how they have interacted in one way or the other with some drugs, cocaine, opioids, other drugs in their past. Please always assume that those are negative portrayals. Those are cautionary tales, and you should never under any circumstances emulate those stories. It's the position of Fumidoro and Fumidoro flavors, everyone on Fumidoro and all of the guests that drugs are bad and you should not under any circumstances emulate those stories. And of course, my phone locked while I was talking. Instructional theft or cheating is never shown, ladies and gentlemen. Showing viewers how to steal tangible goods or promoting dishonest behavior would never be discussed on the show. Hacking is never shown. Demonstrating how to use computers or information technology with the intent to steal credentials, compromise personal data, or cause serious harm to others, such as but not limited to hacking into social media accounts. And finally, bypassing payment for digital content or services, showing viewers how to use apps, websites, or other information technology to gain unauthorized access to audio content, audiovisual content, full video games, software, or streaming services that normally require payment. We would never discuss any of those things. Finally, once again, ladies and gentlemen, the show is of course for adults only, and of course we do not under any circumstances offer drugs to you. Even though other channels might have secret menus, we do not. Under no circumstances can you find anything illegal in the show. The cannabis content that we do discuss is legal under the 2018 Farm Bill, and the seeds that we purvey also are legal. All the breeders that come through the show, it's legal for us to purvey seeds because the seeds have no THC in them, so they are legal under the 2018 Farm Bill. Thanks, folks, for bearing with the introduction of the prologue here. We've recorded it maybe for the future. I don't know if it's good enough. Oh, I think we just lost D. Damn it, no. Oh, here he is. We got him. All right, get back here. No. They got you, D. The freaking monsters. They abducted you. What's the window? What's the good word, D?
What's going on, everybody? What's going on, chat? What's going on? I guess Fumi. I'm not smoking anything right now. We're on our way. We have to pick our niece up and take her to a physio. So that's about it for me. I hope everyone a great day. Don't forget to check me out on Instagram at D_zombie_. And check out Fumidoro.com for that sweet merch. everybody.
By the way, Coffee Pot is saying that he can't see the show. I feel like I can see the show. It's
There you go.
here. I'm going to mute
So
it so that we don't have an echo. Seems like it's working. Wait, is it live? I'm going to show. It's going to be trippy. I think it's working.
look at those handsome fellas.
Right? Couple of dashing ne'er-do-goods. Or ne'er-do-wells. You get the grammar right. I think it's running. Coffee Pot. Oh, wait. What happened? Oh, wait. No, now we're sharing the share. This is the metaverse right here, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, if you guys can't watch the show, let me know. Maybe refresh the stream or something. I don't know. Pip Jam says you can see the show, so I don't know. Refresh, buddy. Hopefully it'll work. On top of everything, hop on the show, ladies and germs. Welcome to the show. If you guys are new to it, you're probably not. I think we have only a few people watching right now. I think you guys are all old timers, so you know the drill. Hop on, tell us how your garden's going. Tell us how things are doing, whatever. Don't forget, folks, if you live somewhere that is a little bit sketchier, for one reason or another, we don't have to be specific. You can always wear a mask. You can always put a picture instead of your camera. Don't forget, you don't have to show your actual video. I mean, I've said many times, I basically put a piece of tape. That's my super secret technology right here, the extensive show budget that you guys know that I have. I've obviously prototyped a whole carbon fiber thing that's definitely not just blue tape. That's my decoy basically for the enormous. It's actually made by Ferrari. It's not really enormous, really inside. It's enormous in budget. Really, it was this incredible contraption they made out of the sleekest carbon fiber that basically slips over here, and I, lock it back and forth. In fact, I just wave in front of it. Basically, it's literally a piece of fucking blue tape. And then basically what I do is I just click background. So, for example, you can pick any background you want. I could choose a different background to show you. Suddenly my ear itches. I could choose the ubiquitous bridge that comes with Zoom. You don't have to pay a goddamn penny. You can get surprisingly out of focus grass. You can get what is meant to be the earth. I guess it is because that's Europe.
Please do.
What else? Oh, they even have this aurora borealis that everyone was like, "Oh my god, how beautiful!" Which, in fairness, it is a beautiful description. But for some reason, nobody ever knows that you have it in Zoom. Anyway, ladies and germs, it's there. It's literally there in background and effects. If you were to be interested in coming on the show, it is literally that simple. Presumably most of you at this point use Zoom for work meetings and stuff, even people who don't work from home, because inscrutably a lot of the companies are insisting that people do come back from home. Still, probably there are some of you that at least have some Zoom meetings at home or even at work. You have Zoom meetings, so you're familiar probably with Zoom. If you don't use your camera regularly, or if you again don't want to, basically use your home face essentially instead of your work face on Zoom, that's understandable. I completely understand that. Like I said, just use a background, cover the camera. There's probably 50 other ways to do it too. Worst case scenario, you can always just not show your camera. But honestly, in this day and age, in freaking what year is it? 2011? I can't remember. I feel like I fell in a coma in the last few months. Anyway, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to make jokes, ladies and gentlemen. I know what the fucking year it is, but what am I trying to say? You should know. You should know honestly how to use Zoom at this point. I don't know. I guess I'm trying not to shame people while also a little bit shaming you. Like not using your camera at this point is not really a great excuse. Like maybe 4 or 5 years ago that was an excuse, but I mean Zoom's been around for 4 years now. You can literally broadcast with a picture. You can broadcast with, like I said, with a tape over the picture. You can broadcast with a video going. You can do a bunch of different things. You can use an alternate camera. And if you can do full tech, basically, you can not only low tech, you can go full tech. You can literally basically set up, let's say, GoPro, or even your iPhone can actually work as a webcam now. And you can point it on your fucking fence outdoors if you want to. There's really no excuse anymore to not show your face and to be bashful from coming on YouTube. Seriously, that no one's going to bite you here, at least on this channel. I don't know about other channels, but no one's going to bite you here. Hop on up, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be bashful. Seriously, come tell us about your garden. Tell us what's going on. Tell us what the good news is about your freaking grow. I've got freaking Bible thumpers on the brain. What was it? Not last week, but the week before that, I went to Saturday Market and there was like the freaking Bible thumpers out there. Have you heard the good news? Have you heard the good news? With a fucking loudspeaker. Cheers, Benny Ben. Good to see you. Cheers, Crymore Grows. Welcome, Crymore. You weren't first in the chat today, Crymore. Can you believe that? Usually he's first, but today he was not. Today it was, I think, poor Pizza Dave. Welcome, folks. Whoever I've missed, lurkers, oh, look at that. Atomic Spin's in the house. Welcome, Atomic. Good to see you, buddy. Whoever I've missed, welcome. Cheers. Trying to send out testers, actually. Finally, I realized it's like 3 months late now. But trying to send out testers in the very near future, just bagging them up, basically. So
Yeah.
far, I've
Stupid arse. Fucking arse.
oh, I guess that's D talking. That's D driving. So, folks, hop on seriously because it's literally just me right now. Because D has to do some errands. Trying to do some testers, basically trying to send out some testers. The first ones to go out, basically, I think are going to be, well, actually, I don't know. Come to think of it, oh, it's been so fucking disorienting the last few months. It really does feel like 10 years went by. I'm gonna have to go back on all the different emails because a bunch of you guys actually said you'd want to be testers and stuff, and a few of you said on Instagram and Discord and stuff. So I got to go back and check with everybody. The best would be, I actually, but this would take probably the longest. The best would be, frankly, to ask again who wants to be a tester because things always change in. Fuck, it's been a couple months, honestly, because I think when I asked was like in maybe in August or honestly even before that. What do you think? I don't know. But cheers, Miss Chronic. Good to see you. Cheers, Couch. What do you think in the chat, folks? Should I ask again for testers? Should I basically put the call out again? Or should I just assume that the people D thinks that I should do it again? Just in case anybody's changed their mind or their schedules change or anything else.
And you get some awesome seeds, that's for sure.
I certainly hope so. At least this first batch is going to be delightful, especially one of these. Oh my absolute fucking goodness! So Sam,
Olson,
yeah, he basically first project of Humidor Skunk Works. I hope we're going to have many more projects on Humidor Skunk Works. Suddenly my freaking eyelid itches. That's annoying. Anyway, especially with the upheaval in my life and stuff, I definitely haven't had enough time to work on all the projects that I've wanted to work on. And of course, you guys know that, you know, in most states in the country, you really don't have the plant numbers to get away with huge projects. I mean, apparently in Michigan, you can get 72 plants as a caregiver. That's fucking amazing. Anyway, we definitely don't have that here, so it takes a little bit longer to get away with stuff. What am I trying to say? Having the Fumidoro Skunk Works, the idea is that basically people will help me work on cool projects, and maybe they have something they're trying to work on too. Maybe we can collaborate. Basically, that's the whole idea of Fumidoro Skunk Works. It doesn't all have to be my projects. It could be stuff that you guys want to integrate with my projects. Could be whatever. However we want to strike it. However we want to structure it. But the first project, thank you very much to Sam Olson, was basically essentially 2 breeds, and I have 5 testers basically because it was 3 phenotypes of the one and 2 phenotypes of the other. It was the male on both crosses was the Runts of Eden to the Coot Special. Fuck, now I'm getting that. I might be getting that wrong. Goodness gracious, I should say that correctly if I actually tell you guys. Holy fuck balls, do I have Discord on this goddamn computer? All right, this is frustrating. All right, we're going to welcome Bud Kilowatt while I look up what the freaking actual cross on this is so I don't lie to you because it has been a couple months. What's going on, Bud? You're still muted, Bud, if you're talking. Just doing the Zoom thing. Cheers, folks, on the chat. Of course, Discord has to take forever to start up here.
Yeah, it's muted. I got I have this LED light that I'm bringing from one place to another, and it's in my back seat rattling, so I muted myself. Well, no, now it's settled in. Yeah. How's everyone? How are you doing today?
Doing all right. Well, welcome.
Yeah.
Cheers, folks. Happy 420. Discord. It's literally downloading update after update after update. Now it's downloading update 5 of 5. Now installing update 3, 4, 5 of 5. Thank you, Discord. Perfect timing. I really enjoy it when you install every single update right when I need to open it. It's delightful.
So, Fumi, is it like winter set in up there? already? Is it
More or
raining
less,
cold?
yeah. It's gotten a little bit warmer the last few days, but it's basically been full on rain and winter, and yeah, definitely not like last year when it was still basically warm into freaking December.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's 78 or 80 and sunny and SoCal dream. That's yeah, we get the good weather pretty much almost every day of the year. Even if we get little weather, that when there is weather, it's just nice to have a change. But yeah, that's perfect. Gets cold. We're down to the 40s at night, low 40s. So yeah, that's a 40-degree difference between the peak of the day and night. So yeah,
It's
that happens real quick. Like right when the sun goes down 5:30, yeah, man, it probably drops like 20, 25 degrees in half hour. Like once the sun goes down, it gets cold quick.
yeah, same here. It's 32 right now here. It's freezing.
Yes, I
Yeah,
would
one
have thought it
below
would be colder
freezing.
somehow. I figured in Ontario it's below zero all the time.
No, not yet. Not till the sun goes down, like Bud said.
Hmm. Oh, by the way, I found the for sure mail because I didn't want to basically tell you guys the wrong story. So the mail is a Runts of Eden. Basically, it's Runts of Eden crossed to Coot Special, and then basically that was crossed to both, two different things. Crossed to Runts of Eden to Coot Special. So it's basically, as you can imagine, Runts of Eden to Coot Special crossed to Runts of Eden to Coot Special. I guess you could call that an F2 because we were talking about that with Smash yesterday. And then the other one is basically forum cut cookies to Coot Special. So basically, it'll be forum cut cookies to Coot Special, cross to the mail, Runts of Eden to Coot Special. So Coot Special basically bookending on both crosses, or I'm sorry, on one cross, and on the other cross, basically also I think Coot Special is on both the sides, but basically it's either Runts of Eden bookending or essentially Coot basically bookending on both. Should be some very interesting genetics, honestly. The loudest so far, I mean, I only have the 5 samples, but basically very interesting samples so far. The loudest by far is the Runts of Eden #2 by Coot. That's obviously very Runts of Eden leaning, specifically kind of that forbidden fruit, that orangey, fruit punchy, kind of a very fruity smell, basically, with this sort of spice on the bottom. Really, really compelling. Smells kind of runtsy, honestly. What else? And then the other Runts of Eden is very floral in comparison. Oh, we just lost D for a little bit. I think he said he had to leave for a little bit. Hop on, folks. Seriously, it's a conversational show. We're in the middle of the day here having a safety meeting. Hop on. Oh, no, we just lost Bud. It's D still with us.
Yeah, he might be back.
Spicy floral. What else here? And then the Girl Scout cookies came out incredibly floral. Basically, I think all 3 of these have these very different florals too, which is very interesting.
I don't think I've ever had Girl Scout cookies with floral like how you're talking.
I know it, but for some reason these guys came out super floral. That one is almost roses. The other one I think it's kind of lavender.
Ooh, lavender's nice. I don't like roses, shit like that, but lavender's nice.
I put my finger on that one. That's more like spiced dough or something. Still a little bit floral though. Anyway, should be some really, really interesting genetics indeed. My idea basically was, and I'm ecstatic that Sam basically put it together. It wouldn't have been possible without him. Basically, to put a little bit of strength in both those 2 crosses. I mean, form cut cookies still gets you high. I mean, Bud Kilowatt has talked about this many times. It's really good weed. When you make criticisms about the cookies lines, which are fair, they're kind of overplayed and stuff. Still, like form cut cookies itself is still pretty good weed. I mean, it's legendary for a reason. but it definitely doesn't have quite the legs, I think, of some other things, and it breeds a little bit too true, honestly. I think people who've ever worked with cookies realize that every cross you get with cookies, that's one of the criticisms against cookies, is that it breeds so true that every single descendant is basically some version of cookies. Well, I thought basically breeding something so aggressive as the Coot Special basically into that cookies would soften it a little bit, and so future generations, we'll see, would be a little bit less dominant on the cookies strain, or I'm sorry, cookies alleles, while at least still having some of them, some of the frostiness and the density and those cool spices, and yeah, honestly, the cool high and everything else. So we'll see about that one. And then, of course, with the Runts of Eden, basically the same story. The Runts of Eden is actually quite nice. It's runts to forbidden fruit, and I've said this many times. Runts isn't really, honestly, the best high. It's a very nice flavor, but it doesn't last all that long. But forbidden fruit is surprisingly nice. Honestly, it's a decent high. It's definitely more of an uppity head high. It's definitely more of a giggly high, so it's not going to put you on the couch, but it definitely hits you. Like, it really gets people high. If at least if you have a decent cut of it. Perhaps if there's bad cuts, it's a different story. But I think people always assume that it's like some very weak weed, but it doesn't seem that way to me. And everyone that I've smoked it with has had a very, very unique experience as a result of that. Anyway, even still, I thought that basically putting in some real landrace Thai and Kerala in there would be super beneficial. So we'll see. The male Sam used was absolutely stunning. We both regretted him not taking a clone of that male because it was absolutely freaking gorgeous. Should be some nice testers indeed, ladies and gentlemen. So I think D is right. I think it would be better if I asked for testers again, as annoying as that is. I don't know. I might email some of the people because in some cases it might be easier just to do that and just email people and see if they're still interested. But we'll see how it is, especially with the big channel being down and all that kind of stuff. I think it's prudent, actually, what Dee said, to ask for testers again. So, folks, if you're interested in being testers, first for that one, and then I have other crosses as well. But that was kind of the more challenging thing that I'm wrapping my head around with right now. A cake in a cup yesterday was saying like, "Oh, Fumi, you should talk about your seed future and all that kind of stuff, or the future of Humidoro right now." And I guess since no one else is hopping on, this is as good a time as any to discuss some of my thoughts. I've really, Bud, I think, is having connection issues. Hop on here, folks. Seriously, it can't just be D and me. And D
What
has
were
to
we,
leave here in a second.
what were we supposed to discuss? Remember, we were supposed to discuss something at the end of the show.
Oh
We're going
shit!
to
On a
talk about
quick.
today.
Well,
I
for
forget what
one,
it
Kate
was.
told me to talk about like Fumidoro, but at the same time, there was something else we were supposed to discuss. It was, but something with growing.
I forget now. I should have wrote it down.
Man, on live, I don't remember either.
If anyone in the chat remembers our conversation what we're supposed to discuss from last night, please let us know. I forget. I plumb forget.
Yeah, I don't think I
No,
wrote.
no, no, no.
Yeah, we should know better, especially when we get stoned. It's so easy to forget stuff. Like, you should write stuff down. You tell yourself like, "Oh, I'll remember that," and literally 5 minutes later, what? I don't even know. Cheers, Garrett. Good to see you. Oh, I haven't seen Charlie's Farm in a long time. I guess he has a very civilian business now and might not even grow weed anymore.
Who?
Can you imagine?
Who is that, Jimmy?
Charlie's Farm.
Oh, cheers,
Yeah,
Charlie.
about
Hope
him.
you're having a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't seen you in a long time, man.
Yeah, I texted him when I was down in Israel, but I haven't heard back. So he's probably deep underground.
I heard he's the hardest working candy. 3 jobs.
Say it again.
I've heard he's the hardest working candy. He's got 3 jobs.
Oh, I've heard that too. Yeah, guys
Yeah,
burning wood candles. Yeah, crazy pants. Anyway, the fuck was I talking about? Oh, testers basically. So I'm trying to figure out what to do. So the mail that I have right now, I was supposed to have a bunch of lines available for you guys, but unfortunately most of it didn't work out. The lines that I pollinated basically, or a friend of mine pollinated at another friend's house, because I guess a lot of you guys probably suspect maybe what happened, but I don't know. I don't really know if I want to go into all the details, frankly. Every time I have revealed private details on this show, oftentimes, not every time, but oftentimes it has ended up biting me in the ass in one way or another, because like it or not, for some reason, these channels always attract a lot of people who dislike them. It's not just me. It's not just my channel. And so I've learned that you just have to be very, very private, basically, and be very like opaque, essentially, and not reveal basically anything about yourself. Otherwise, some fuckknuckle will use it against you. It's really something else. Even tiny fucking channels like I mean, this channel has 200 subscribers. So, like my other channel is down. So you don't even, you can't even really consider like, oh, he has a 2,000 people subscribe. Like, no, not really. That channel's down now. Like that person would also have to be subscribed to this channel. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. But the fact that we're still talking right now, chances are they're not. Still, channels like this attract weird fucking haters and enemies and stuff. It's the bizarrest thing. I don't understand it. Anyway, uh yeah, I don't even know if I want to discuss the circumstances of moving out. And then basically I had to basically go to Israel for kind of a serious family emergency for a while, and I got stuck there for the war and everything else. Anyway, in that time, I had to chuck all my plants basically that were indoor plants. I had to chuck them outdoors and hope for the best. And believe it or not, most of them actually did pretty well, but then the rains came way too early. And so even though a couple of friends of mine, honestly, a couple of friends of the show too, helped out a lot, honestly, a couple of viewers from the show, frankly, helped out. And if it weren't actually for a couple of viewers on the show, I wouldn't have clones of a couple of things. Honestly, I still have one little clone of Runts that's revegging. It's going to take probably another couple months before I can use it. But still, I wouldn't have Runts if it wasn't for someone that watches the show. So thank you to the person who knows who he is. Anyway, a lot of those projects just didn't work out full on. The seeds kind of just rotted on the plants, or the plants didn't finish in many cases. The plants just kind of molded up. It's really kind of disturbing how much didn't fucking pan out. Some of the indoor plants, I should say, some of the other plants basically that were at this location, basically, we managed to bring in basically before the real serious rains came. But I only got here like what about a month ago, basically. And I don't know, I don't want to say the damage was done, but basically the damage was done in some cases. So we're waiting for some of them to finish. They're finishing quite slowly, but I've basically managed to set up the garage a little bit better than it was when we first kind of moved the plants in, and so they are finishing a little bit. So I don't know. I really have no way of knowing if those plants are gonna be actually properly seeded until I cut them down. I'm hoping to maybe cut them down this weekend. We'll see, because like I say, it's maddening to see how slow they finish, and then basically at some point you just have to kind of cut your losses and be like, all right, I'm better off just starting with a new project. So anyway, basically speaking of that, if this doesn't work out, if these guys don't work out, I still have the mail. So I basically can, that was one of the bright spots basically in all of it. I lost a lot of genetics, but I still kept or managed to keep, thanks to my friends, a number of genetics. And then of course, Bud sent me some nice things. So I still have some really nice genetics. I was quite, honestly, I was kind of depressed about it at the beginning of the month. It was a little bit hard when I started to realize how much I lost. But you have to get over it. Essentially, I guess you could always give up growing, I suppose. But I didn't really want to give up growing. So on some level, you just have to get over it. And then with the help of your friends and so on, and then also just being freaking curious and looking around, you can find more clones a lot of times. So that's how I found a lot of the other stuff that I had. So little by little by little, I'll rebuild my library. I still have forbidden fruit that's basically flowering. I don't know that it's very heavily seeded, unfortunately. I think that's one of the ones that didn't get very heavily seeded, but it looks like it's actually slowly revegging. So maybe I'll have forbidden fruit still. Speaking of which, that's a cut that I would really hate to lose. Anyway, still have cherry pie, thankfully, which is a miracle, because that was one of my holy grail plants, honestly. And Flores sent me that a few months ago, maybe 6 months ago. He sent me that. No, maybe more than that, honestly. He sent me that and raspberry kush. Unfortunately, raspberry kush did not make it through the move, but cherry pie, thankfully, is a really hardy plant and revegged. I haven't had any of the intersex issues that people talk about, although that could be the cherry pie kush that people talk about and not the cherry pie. Did I just say cherry pie kush? I meant to say cherry pie. There's the two different plants, and they have ever so slightly different breeding, which adds up, honestly, because those are sort of formative strains. So when you do them a little bit differently, the results end up super different. But anyway, cherry pie and cherry pie kush, and I always forget which one is supposed to have the intersex traits. Anyway, in my experience, and it's had the fucking Dickens beaten out of it, basically, cherry pie is doing great. So honestly, resistant to a lot of different things. Boy, these plants have not had an easy time, I have to be honest with you. So we'll see. There's some bright spots. Basically, if they do finish, some bright spots. I guess I don't even necessarily want to tell you everything, but there are a couple plants that I think are seeded. So knock on wood, we'll see. It's very difficult. I don't know anyone who has ever accidentally seeded something, or what is that? Anyone who's ever accidentally seeded something or on purpose even, sometimes you can really tell the seeds are coming in nicely. You can literally see the brown husks and stuff. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes the seeds are hidden basically in the plant and you can't really basically tell anything. Anyway, this is that time basically where I can barely tell anything. I can pretty much not even see seed husks or anything. So we'll see in a couple of weeks if I have any seeds to release basically from that Jack the Ripper line. If not, basically, I have a bunch of stuff pretty much that's vegging up that is almost ready to go. And so basically, I hope to have a new breed. I don't know, maybe in the next month or something like that. We'll see. Probably with that Jack the Ripper male again. Technically, I have a Pacifica Days male as well, but I don't know that I'm going to use him yet. So we'll see, honestly. And I really would like to do a feminized run at some point in the near future. This is as good a time as any, honestly. So I might try to do one or two feminized runs. I've been kind of going back and forth in my head, trying to figure out what I want to really feminize, because a couple of things I wanted to feminize were my things that are now unfortunately gone. So I don't know. I might still feminize the Sour Morgana. That's definitely something I still have. I have both the mom, thankfully. That would have been a fucking hell of a loss. And I also have some of her daughters that I basically was testing, some of my favorites. So that's good news. What else? What am I trying to say? Oh, and very hopefully, I guess I can reveal this. I sort of have hinted about this. We're kind of calling her Jackie the Ripper or Jackie's 38 Special, a couple different names that we're working on with her. But basically, she is the female Jack the Ripper that I got a pack of Jack the Ripper from Delman, basically, who watches the show, right? And Delman's given me some really cool things over the years, or a couple of years that I've known him. He's given me the blueberry muffin that, thank fuck, I actually still have. Can you imagine, of all the things that didn't make it, blueberry muffin did make it? That's fucking amazing. Anyway, what was I trying to say? He also gave me Jack the Ripper when he heard me talking about how I wanted to work with it. And out of that, I got the male Jack the Ripper that you guys have heard me talking about, that I'm going to be working with, that I have been working with. And I also got a female Jack the Ripper. Probably should have kept the clone, especially now in retrospect. I should have probably kept the clone, even though maybe she would have died, even still. But whatever, I didn't keep her, but I did breed to that very lovely Jack the Ripper female. And I think the reason why I didn't keep her is that she was a little bit too lemony, actually, or was she too skunky? Fuck, I wrote it down somewhere. Anyway, regardless, right now I'm going to be smoking hopefully the weed in a little bit. Anyway, I bred her to Coot Special, got some seeds, and then found a few seeds of that basically, and found this delightful. Didn't have all that many to go through before I had to move, but I found a really stunning one and managed to basically throw her out and flower her. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous plant that has now been pollinated again with the Jack the Ripper male. And I do thankfully have clones of her. So even if she didn't get pollinated, she's going to get pollinated, because honestly, the structure on her is delightful. The smell so far is very fruity, lemony. I mean, I have to be honest, I haven't been sticking my nose into her because she's in a strange place in the garden, but still very loud. The garden is very loud at the moment, so that's kind of nice. Anyway, structure is amazing. So we'll see basically when I smoke her in the near future. That should be a super, super interesting plant right there. So anyway, going back to testing, before all these shenanigans, before I had to move and get stuck in Israel and everything else, I basically was intending to send out all these testers and then have a whole run of Jack the Ripper lines basically right behind it. Unfortunately, some of the things that I was testing, like the Bedrock Boogie #2, Cuvée, what else? The Afghan that I had, unfortunately, all of those are gone. So I don't have Cuvée anymore, which sucks donkey balls. I don't have the Bedrock Boogie #2. I had it, ironically, when I came back and I tried to transplant it, but she was too weak. So unfortunately, she didn't freaking make it. And now basically I have only myself to blame for that death. And what else? The Afghan didn't make it either. So that makes those testers sort of pointless. I mean, not because it's still very interesting genetics, and I would very, very much like to see what they create, and I would very much like to see pictures from that kind of stuff, and I would very much like to run some of that stuff myself. But as a proper honest to God tester, it makes it kind of a strange one. The one that I do have as a honest to goodness tester, and I still have it, is the Oaxacan Thunderfuck, the Pacifica Days version 2. So basically I have testers from the Pacifica Days version 2. So I'm half thinking about sending out these testers. I haven't named them yet, but these Fumidoro Skunkworks testers from Sam, the Runts of Eden Coot Special Girl Scout Cookies mashup, and the Pacifica Days version 2. And then maybe to some select testers, some of the genetics from the other lines. Or sending out, I'm curious what you guys think, because honestly, nobody said a goddamn thing. It's like you guys are basically, probably your guys are in the garden or something and just listening in the background. Well, if you have an opinion, let me know. This is the time that you can let me know. If you think that I should send out, let's say, the Bedrock Boogie to Jack the Ripper cross, that unfortunately I don't have the Bedrock Boogie mom. I have her sister, I have the Bedrock Boogie #1 still, the Sea Log of the Bat mom, but it's a little bit different genetics. It's more sour strawberry instead of more cushy. What else? I don't have the Cuvée. So basically you would get kind of another version of Morgana, basically was the idea, but there's no way for me to repeat that basically without diving back into Cuvée genetics. I guess I'd have to call up North Star or something and get those genetics again. Kind of not realistic time-wise. Or would you guys rather just basically test, like I said, the Pacifica Days version 2, some of these form cut, blah, blah, blah. I'm repeating myself. I think you understood. Curious what you guys think. Nobody's hopping on today. What the shit? Don't all talk at once.
Well, it sounds like you got a bunch of projects, one way or another. I
Well,
forget what I sent you, but I kind of remember, but I have some other things, like especially some of the, I guess the things I hold that I don't always run. I'll take clones of those soon and
be great.
let you know.
That'd be awesome. Cheers.
I got the forum cut and a few other things that are
I think I
like
still have the
in
form
mom
cut.
status or whatever.
I'll let you know in a week or whatever, whenever you're talking, because
Yeah.
I think I have the form cut. She's basically re-vegging, but I think she's re-vegging really nicely. So we'll see about that one. Stuff like that is never guaranteed. I don't know if you guys have ever, at least in my soil, I don't know, maybe in cocoa or something, it's a little bit more guaranteed. But whenever I have like the cherry pie or the freaking form cut little guys re-vegging, I'm always like very careful when I up pot them, basically, because it's I don't know, I'm worried about ruining the roots or whatever, because it's a fragile time that I have lost plants in the past. Anyway, hopefully Operation Annihilation, hopefully I'm definitely very excited about these Fumidoro Skunkworks projects. I think those are really interesting genetics, not just to test and release, because I think you guys are going to enjoy them enough to release. We'll see. Obviously, that's one of the reasons why I'm doing them as testers. Excuse me. But I think also unlocking these genetics are going to be really spectacular. The floral notes that I'm getting out of them, now granted, I only have these little samples, so we'll see when we actually break into these genetics. But Sam so far has said they're quite loud. I need to talk to him again and get the smoke reports, because I think I basically was in Israel most of the time that he was smoking the samples. Anyway, some of these are, again, super, the Runts of Eden #2, basically, to Coot, super loud on the fruitiness with the kind of spiced back end. That's very, very compelling. A friend of mine smelled that and said, wow, that smells magical. These other ones, one of them smells so compellingly like rose water, like Lebanese rose water, not like potpourri necessarily, but like an actual rose. D doesn't like it, but I fucking do. That's been some of my holy grail terp, honestly. So we'll see. And then of course the Girl Scout cookies and the Coot both have quite a bit of fuel in them in different ways. So that should combine quite nicely as well. So we should see some really, really interesting crosses from that. And then what was I talking about? The Jack the Ripper. I'm really looking forward to seeing the skunkiness basically in a lot of the crosses that I'm working with him in. He's not just going to add a lot of the fruitiness, because I think Bud Kilowatt was mentioned. You mentioned Subcool yesterday with all the funky flavors and terps and stuff. But the thing that I liked about Subcool's flavors was that they were not just hollow. You know, everyone's always talking about how tangy is, you know, weak, and strawberry flavors are weak, and da 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 da. Subcool's flavors weren't weak. They actually got you high, but they would taste like lime or chocolate or freaking strawberries or goddamn cherries or whatever else. It was actual weed with a skunky, nasty background, a lot of times mango and stuff. But
well, I mean,
go
back
ahead.
when he was putting that out, he was like one of the only people. Like the rest of the seed market was more into Kush and OG or whatever, those strains. But Subcool was like, now, oh, it's way different now. There's a lot of that flavors. But back, fuck, I guess it's 20 years ago, 15, 20. Subcool was like, yeah, his stuff was way out there, man, compared to everything else on the market.
It occurred to me I could do a poll in the chat. How many people are watching? 20. Oh shit. Right.
I wish I remember more about which I ran a more than once. I ran it like a few times, like few different Subcool strains. When people talk about his old strains, all the names ring a bell, but I can't remember. I think I might have did Dairy Queen. I forget the actual the ones, and it wasn't that his wasn't like worth running. I was like I'm friends with Swerve and was like deep in supporting what Swerve was doing at the time. So yeah, I was Cali connection, and yeah, I wish I would have spent more time within the Subcool library, but I only ran a couple things. Like I've told the story, like I managed to grow for a 215 shop, and my boss said, "Oh, there's a guy," and this dready dude was Subcool, and my boss was basically, I mean, there wasn't much seed sales inside a medical place at that time, so pitching him on it, and dude kind of was like, talk to my guy. I just remember basically trying to say no to Sub, like, nah. But the way his sales pitch was, he wasn't like he didn't accept no as an answer. Like, oh, he fronted us a bunch of seeds. Like there was 5 different kinds and 5. I forget what it was, and then I paid him and I sold a few of those packs and gave a few to friends because it wasn't that expensive. But I remember that about him, like, oh, we were hanging puppet, and I was basically saying, we're good. And no, he wasn't accepting no as an answer. Okay. That was the gist of my interaction with Sub. And then I'd see him at all the events. But like I say, I was Cali Connection, I was loyal to that crew, which is because I'm from the San Fernando Valley, and that's where Swerve is from. And I don't know. Even back then, there were cliques, like you supported. You couldn't support everybody. You could, but yeah, I don't know. It wasn't like the breeder like cared that you grew somebody else's stuff, really. But I don't know. I'm a loyalist, so when I support somebody, I support 100%.
That's fine.
And at that time, Swerve really did have some, like, oh man, there were a lot of good shit that Swerve put out.
I've heard.
I'm still friends with him and talk to him, and he kind of has a whatever rep. Well, he was young, and he was the guy that was balling the biggest at that time. Like as far as like spending the most money and biggest booth, and like today, I guess that's the world's changed because that's like cool now. But back when he was doing it, it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way because we were just barely getting these events and times were different. But he was like, yeah, he was balling. Like you guys know what I mean by that. And uh, now that's kind of more common. But at the time, and yeah, he always had beef with different people in the scene. And that was like part of, yeah, that becomes part of like PR. Like half the beefs are not even real, they're made up because it gives them traction or whatever, right? Can't get it any other way. You start a beef with somebody and then everyone hears about it. Like he used to have like a guy that was like his security guard because he's not a very big guy, but there would be like no one really, well, it wasn't violent, but people talked like or had conflicts like at the events and were being yelling matches or what looked like might turn into a fight, but nah, no one really ever took it that far. They acted like they would. See, I remember in the early San Bernardino Cups growing up in LA, I remember realizing that in LA, yeah, everything's very segregated as far as the races, the different races and people. And at the Cannabis Cup, all those people were there and getting along, which like if it was a hip hop show or some other type of thing, oh, that's when gunplay and shots fired and things would happen. But nothing like that ever happened at the Cannabis Cup, even though rival factions of people were at the place. It was like, and I remember thinking, yeah, we like people don't, yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. Like, oh, if it was alcohol, more alcohol based, oh, I'm sure there would have been things that happened. But no, everybody was peaceful, even though they were like rivals. I don't know how other cities are, but LA, it's changed a bit, but LA was really gang, like it's not even gang, neighborhood affiliated like type stuff.
Too much stuff on this desk. Oh, it's one of the challenging things sometimes to figure out what people are going to be interested in. So interesting. I thought people would be more interested in hearing about that Ruby Jack Coot special. So far, no one's voting for it. Granted, we only have 5 votes, but still. Even the White Runs to Black Prince Ruby, only 1 vote for it. Morgana, anything? I guess I should have known. People are always talking about Morgana, so I should have known people would be more interested in that kind of stuff. It's funny. You'll lead yourself down different rabbit holes unless you just fucking ask people. Funny. Anyway. Shoot, folks, I don't know. It's been kind of a slow show. I'm thinking we might wrap it up early, honestly. Hop on if you'd like to. I guess consider this last call. If you'd like to hop on and chat with us, shoot the shit, talk about whatever, please do hop on here. Otherwise, I don't know. Maybe we'll just freaking bag it in a few minutes here and wait until Saturday and say hello to D on the takeover this Saturday. Still, by the way, trying to figure out. Oh, just as I say that, Smash shows up. Still trying to figure out when I'm going to do my first Twitch stream. I haven't done that yet. So I don't know. I'll try to text you or something, or at least let you know in some way. At least some of you. Cheers, Smash. Good to see you. Because we do need to basically go over there. I'm kind of tired of the trajectory over here on YouTube, so we'll see how Twitch does for us. Nice. Operation Annihilation. He says, my old lady just baked a cake before I baked the eggshells. See, that's multitasking. Bake a cake and then bake some eggshells for your garden. That works out perfectly. What's going on, Smash?
No, I'm just hanging out, man. Wednesdays are usually my really busy days. So I always am out doing
Well, right on. It's good to get stuff done.
I booked the hotel. Booking the flight I think I'm gonna do it by the end of next week. I'll have the flight. I'm just trying to figure out who I want to take. Southwest, Spirit, Delta. I can get cheaper flights, but there's like from Boston to Vegas, it's like 6 hours and some change nonstop. But like the cheaper flights are 15 hours because there's a layover in ATL for like six hours. I was like, nah, fuck that.
Yeah, well, that's how that airline deal works. Exactly. And I would say like Spirit, so whatever you call the low budget things. I mean, hey, their flights get there and all, but Delta or the better brands that usually charge a little more are better. Like low budget airlines have low budget everything. So
I love how you said it. You're like, they'll get you there. You might have
I
to
love
sit on the spike to get there, but they'll get you there.
well, like the one thing you realize, it's not like, oh, well, Spirit's had crashes and things. No, their flights are just as safe for, but it's, yeah, you get what you pay for.
I've always flown Southwest because it's like that middle ground between the cheap and the really expensive.
Yeah, but the thing is, Southwest has maybe Boston, and it's easy. It has certain places that it serves, and at other places it doesn't. Like, oh, you can find it from West Coast to New York on Southwest, but it's not at JFK. It's at they're based at their flights go to LaGuardia or one of the other ones. I like, but so they don't like they have their routes. Everyone has their routes.
They must have a hub in Boston and in Manchester, New Hampshire, because that's usually where I fly Southwest out of.
Yeah, as far as like West Coast, like LA or San Diego to Bay Area or all the Western place, Southwest has got that covered. Yeah, that's the go-to for like, I guess you'd call those commuter flights or whatever.
So Southwest, it's gonna be like 350, but it's round trip 350 nonstop. So I'll get
And if
there.
you and I over the years I've learned I don't fly that much anymore, but a few of my friends fly more. Southwest, like when you do fly a bunch, the points and all the triple points, and yeah, that if you fly a decent amount, yeah, they next thing you know, you get free flights. And then they have a lot of they have that buddy thing where the second person flies free promotion. They have a bunch of promotions. They just had one a few months ago where you had like 3 or 4 days. They extended it too. I think it was like 50% off. But the problem is, yeah, it's so hard because ultimately, Smash, the earlier you book all the way, every day matters. The better price. Like, if you're less than 21 days, oh, that's where the real, oh, if you're trying to book a flight tomorrow, oh, that's where they jack you hard.
That's what she said.
I was just gonna say that's what we call you.
Like, I'm trying to figure out if someone is gonna want to come with me. That's really the only other thing I'm waiting on to see who wants to if someone wants to come or meet me in Vegas or something.
Well, it's at the end of January, you said?
Yeah. So I'm going to there's Las Vegas, and then you probably heard of this one, TPE, Total Product Expo. Cigar companies, like all the famous cigar companies are there. All the lighter companies, the grinder companies.
When I was in the e-cigarette business, the company that I was doing business with in China paid my hotel and flight. And back then it was called the Tobacco Products Convention. It was at the convention center, and it was basically smoke shop supply, but not the tobacco necessarily, all the other products.
Everything else.
Yeah. And back then it was the beginning of e-cigarettes, and there was a little cannabis stuff, but it wasn't really what you would call a cannabis event. It was tobacco products event.
Yeah. Well, they have like
I went 2 years to that. Yeah. Like even ultimately the company, I forget the name of it. By having me out there just to meet, like it wasn't like we did business there. That was like not the smartest move for them, because that's where I met all these other companies in China, and like, yeah, their competitors and other stuff like that. But yeah, I met my sales rep after like years of dealing with them in text and phone calls. James was his name, and he was like typical Chinese person that didn't have any idea weed or culture, anything. But at one of the nights after we went to dinner, he tried some weed. He took a hit or two of joint with me and got so like I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. He never smoked before.
Obviously, Las Vegas has like get-togethers all through Vegas after the show. There's and stuff. I was looking, so tickets, the cheapest tickets to the Sphere are $65, and I might go check it out.
Yeah, well, the big announcement in the jam band world, Fish, they're on sale now.
Yeah.
Fish is playing 4 nights there, and from what I know from my inside information, the Dead and Company bringing John Mayer back. Their negotiations probably by any month or week now, they're going to announce same kind of thing, 4 nights or whatever of Dead and Company sometime next year. Even though the last summer tour was the final tour, like, oh, well, this isn't a tour, it's a residency. So that they won't be like, I don't know. One thing, they get paid a lot. Like, yeah, the Spears, that place holds 18,000 people. So it's not the biggest place, but the average price a ticket is pretty high. For
just the regular experience, the cheapest are 65, and they're on the corner, or not the corner, the outside row, and then every other seat's $100 minimum.
Yeah, well, I've heard that people that went say it like up on the upper parts better visually than closer to the stage.
Yeah, you want to be in the center row, up top, upper deck.
Well, and also that even the bad seats are like you're immersed in it. There's not like in a standard arena, yeah, bad seat, you wouldn't even be able to see the screen very good. No, the screen, the whole dome thing or the spear, that place looks. I can't wait to go just to experience it. Yeah, it seems like the newest experience in entertainment is that.
I wonder if they're gonna build more of them.
Oh, I think I forget the amount of billions, but they spent a lot on this place.
It looks sick though. The U2 show.
Yeah, I think over the next couple years, there's going to be some really epic events there. Like,
Well, UFC's already booked for there.
well, that's going to be wow. I never even thought of that, but that'll be trippy.
Yeah, UFC's gonna fight in there, and I'm thinking like they're probably gonna make the whole screen so everyone can see.
Yeah, because well, I mean, I guess they could rearrange it, but it's more like it's not like a ring in the center and then uh like where the stage is yeah, it'll only be one side of it. So then the other side of it will be the screen. Or you'd be surprised. They probably have a arrangement where they can put the ring in the center and then there's seats all the way around. I don't know.
But yeah, Dana White was talking about it the other day. Dude, I've been fucking stuck on Power Slap. It's his second company, and it's just big ass dudes slapping each other in the face.
Oh, I've seen yeah, that kind, that's gnarly. The guys that are like at the top level, because like, yeah, they just take it and then they give one back, and then finally, sometimes when the guy goes down, it's delayed, like because they're trained. So like, even though they're knocked out, they act like they're okay, and then I've seen clips where like 30 seconds, 45 seconds, and then all of a sudden the guy falls out because he's knocked out from a slap.
Pretty interesting. Yeah, it's it's an evolving sport, which is crazy to think.
Yeah, it's been around for some years. It was like a bar thing, like certain bars would put on like relatively small.
I think Russia had like a league.
Yeah, well, it sounds like, oh, it's just a slap thing, but oh no, that's gnarly. I've seen
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen car jujitsu?
Car, like a driving car?
Yeah, like what I'm sitting in. So there's someone sitting in the driver's seat and someone sitting in the passenger seat. They both have their seatbelts on, and when the timer starts, they're gonna take their seatbelts off and they start wrestling in the car. It's literally called car jujitsu.
That's crazy.
The skyline's so beautiful right now. But yeah, I just wanted to jump on to say I hope everyone's having a good day. Yeah,
Come on.
I'm gonna get out of here.
All right, Smash. Book your flight.
I am. I'm gonna no later than next Friday. I've already put a date on it,
I don't know.
so I'm trying. But yeah, everyone be safe.
Have a great day, Smash.
Yeah.
Right on. Hello to everybody in chat. Hope everybody's having an awesome time. I'm not in chat right now. I'm on the road, as you can tell. Bud's not on the road anymore. He was driving. Got where he's going, I guess. Almost home.
Yeah, now that I'm back to being healthy, I'm back to my normal. Or actually, it seems like I'm busier than ever. But during that hernia episode, I was pretty much out for the count for a few months. So
Yeah, they're not. I've heard they're not fun.
I missed working and being active. So it's been nice the last few weeks. Been nonstop.
Yeah, even going from when you're on here. Looking at the garden and on the road. So almost home. It's almost time to smoke a joint. Hey, we'll
Yeah.
just have enough time for 420. For 420 for us here. Get your lighters, get your joints, get your bongs ready, everybody. 420 coming up. Ding ding. Oh. And of course, I was muted that whole time I was saying all that. Cheers to everybody in chat. Who was it now? Someone. I gotta scroll back down. Oh, Deadfish fan, bud. He's on the way to go see Billy Strings tour opener in Greensboro right now.
Yeah, even why I'm trying to get my projects done early today and got my horse projects to do and be home by 4:30. Billy Strings stream. We're back. He took a week or so off in between Europe and yeah, even though yeah, I'll watch every stream live. That'll be my next week or so of the life.
Right on.
Which means yeah, the 7:30 East Coast starts at 4:35 out here.
Right on.
All right. Well, I'm gonna get to work here. It was good. I'll see you Saturday. Nice hanging with y'all. Have a good rest of the week, everyone. Don't let your meat loaf. That's what Billy Strings says. Weird things at the end of the show. He's one of them is don't let your meat loaf.
Exactly.
Yeah. Have a good one.
Thanks, buddy, for coming and hanging out. Cheers.
All right.
See you Saturday, bro.
All right, bye.
Cheers, everybody in chat. We'll do this again since I was muted last time. Hope everybody's having a great day. There's Fumidor.
Sorry about that. I forgot to even change my background here. Go for it, D.
Oh, just saying what up, chat. That's all.
All
I
right,
was just filling in.
cool.
Yeah, man.
Well, I guess we'll freaking wrap it up here in a few minutes. What was I trying to say? Oh, so the poll here was 12 of you.
Mama.
Nobody actually voted for the Ruby Jack Coot special, so that's interesting. And poll here. Most of you preferred the Morgana, so that's really good to know.
Nice.
You guys need to work on more Morgana stuff. The question is, what do you guys want me to see sift through, basically, to find a male? Up here in a second. Hopefully, it will. Cheers, everyone in the chat while we wait. For some reason, it's not doing it. Do it. Oh, I think
Yeah, man. Oh, coffee.
What are you most interested in? Fumidor, sifting through and using? Nobody was interested in Ruby Jack to Coot special. Some of you were interested in JTR to Coot special. Some of you were also interested in White Runs to Black Prince Ruby. 25% each on that. And most of you, 6 of you probably, were interested in Morgana anything. So that's good to know. Right. So I guess I'll try to plant some Morgana seeds. To be honest, I have a few different generations of it, so we'll see which ones I plant. We'll figure it out. Anyway, other than that, folks, Dee was right. It's probably a good idea to put out a new call for testers. I am going to try to email some people that did sign up as testers before, because otherwise it might take way too long. I need to get these testers out as soon as I can, because basically I just need test results as soon as I can get them. Please, if you're interested in growing something I think very compelling. I mean, obviously we don't know for sure. That's why we're testing them, but I have every reason to assume that these are very good genetics. We've seen the parents, we've seen the parents of the parents, we've seen in some cases the parents of the parents of the parents. Pretty solid genetics, ladies and germs. In many different cases. So I have Pacifica Days version 2. I'm very confident about that one. I don't have any suspicion that there's going to be bad phenotypes from that one. I'm just curious about the good ones. And the same thing with these Runts of Eden Coot special crosses. I think they're going to be pretty spectacular. We'll see about nobody really said anything about the Bedrock Boogie and the Kube and so on. So we'll see. I'll figure out what I'm going to do with those.
I need you to get some.
Hold on to them for a little while until I release everything else with the Jack the Ripper mail. We'll figure it out. So email me, ladies and germs, fumidor@chronictable.com. One of the least good ways to reach me, honestly, is Instagram. Discord is better. If you're not on the Discord, I guess ask Dee or me during a show, and we'll give you a link. Or, of course, some of the operators perhaps might be able to help you as well. Maybe Christoph could give you one or something. In the meantime, best way to reach me again, fumidor@chronictable.com, ladies and germs. Don't be afraid to use it. Feel free to go to Fumidoro, ladies and gentlemen, for all of your merch requests and others, or for your merch needs and others. I have to figure out how to actually advertise Fumidoro without getting banned on YouTube. Basically, that's become a real big problem now. So anyway, go take a look at all the t-shirts and mugs and everything else we have over at the merch store on Fumidoro, ladies and germs. And don't forget to use the coupon code for some items, brains. That's for Fumidoro genetics. How do you pronounce that, D?
Brains.
Save yourself 14% off some genetics, ladies and germs. Other than that, thanks very much for hanging, later gators and deep fried taters. Be kind, be decent, be gentle. Don't be fucking pricks, dicks, or lunatics. Cheers, folks.